Okay, greetings. I hope you guys are hearing me out there. We're doing a brand new broadcast here today. Today is still in the U.S. It's October 10th, 2024, and it's been a big day in the U.S., especially if you're down in Florida. I'm sure you guys have had a lot of problems down there. I have I have quite a few relatives in Florida, and used to live in Florida, and they have some of them have gone through a lot of stuff there. But I've actually there's a relative that I can't locate which was in that area, and I think it's because possibly some of the cell phones may be down, so cell phone towers may be down, and there's no way to get hold. So I hope she's okay, and she's not in harm's way. But I have seen those areas, and there seems to be a lot of devastation. Today we're doing fundraising, and I am hoping that you guys can help out with this fundraising. It's been very difficult to fundraise anything. Like to donate a penny. I don't know what it is. I'm doing what I can for this fundraising. Actually, we got a kind individual there that did donate $7 for this. This is a fundraising for a friend of mine that has a daughter with bipolar. They are going through a huge financial problem, and they could be evicted from their home if they don't get the finance they need. And on top of that, they have been trying to see how can they raise up some funds also to put their daughter in some kind of at-home education, whether she can get it online, and people that may be able to help her with her bipolar situation and improve her education. Right now, the schools are just not doing it for her. The individual, her father, has been injured. For a couple years now, he's not able to work. The mother's barely making enough money for the rent. Uh, I think this is why people don't donate. Every time I mention this part, ready? They are not in the U.S. Boom, boom, bing! That's it. It's a scam. That's it. It's over. Hang up. I think that's what it is. I don't know what it is. What is the reason they're not people not donating? I could only think about that. The individual is from the U.S. The father is from the U.S. The mother is not from the U.S. He married her when he was overseas while doing some work for the Department of Defense. I used to be a partner with him, and he's a very kind person, and he has a lot of problems. So he no longer works for that. And he got injured on the job, and his situation developed with a corrupt insurance company that just didn't want to refuse to pay the benefits, and one thing to another, and he's basically has been out of a job for quite a long time, and he's with an injury. The most ironic thing is serving his country. Figure that one out. All right. And there's no benefits. He's got zero, zero. When I say zero benefits, I mean zero benefit. There are zero benefits coming from anybody. He doesn't want to abandon his wife in the Middle East, especially with all the turmoil right now going on in the Middle East of something bad possibly happening with the situation having to do with Iraq and Iran and Israel. So that is something that's got them really, and where they're located at, they're right there a stone throw away from this area of conflict right now. All right, so it's a big deal for them, and on top of that, they could end up in the street, and they got this child which is bipolar. I'm going to be talking more about this today, and I hope the people that come here can kindly make a donation and just don't go over there to read a story. If you go over there to go get funding, yeah, it's an interesting story, but I'm sure that Amazon's got a lot of books of interesting stories you can read. This is a real life situation, and they're looking for help. This is not some guy who posted something made up in AI. That's not the that's not going on with this. This is a real. I'm here. I'm not AI. Uh, I'm the real deal, and I'm trying, and I really am. I really am trying to see if I can do some fundraising for them. I will be here. Let's see if I can change this $7. If I can change that to 700, because that will help them with the rent, and that will help them put some food on the table, and that will help them calm their nerves down because they're right now pulling their hair. They don't know what to do if they should start packing up their stuff and moving to the car. I mean, there's some serious problems here, people. And we are. I'm here. I'm asking you people if you're going to come here, you're on this channel, and I can talk about any topic right now. If you're in the chat room for any reason, I cannot see you because I am trying to fix something right now. I'm trying to put my channel over there on Twitter, so people can also see it over there on Twitter. So I'm just got to get my link here so I can put it over there on Twitter. So give me a second here as I pull this. The share button here. Please share this. Try to share this. If it will be highly appreciated if you can share this on any of your platforms. But I am here to talk about for those who don't understand bipolar. Bipolar is for kids is devastating. I'll tell you that. Anybody that's any children that suffer bipolar can find themselves in some serious situations when it comes to their friends. They have very little friends in their schools because they can shift their attitude or their demeanor can shift from from 1 minute to the other. All right, and from what my research into bipolar, let's say the kids' period of shifting is a lot faster than an adult. An adult seems to have, as someone has grown up with bipolar, they seem to cope with it a little better, and they're able to control the shifting from depression to the middle ground to being pissed off. And this is very, very disturbing. This is very, very. It can wreck someone's life. All right, and they have no control over this. Very little control. Now there are medications out there for bipolar disorder. All right. Unfortunately, these people cannot afford the bipolar. My friend cannot afford bipolar. I've done what I can to try to help my friend over there that I used to work with, and his family has done what they can. But this family has gotten to the point where they don't even answer the phone anymore, and a lot of his friends don't even return his call at all. All right, because they know he's in a tight situation, and they have to try to. They may have to give him a donation, or not a donation, but try to help him out with some money, and they don't want to hear it no more. They don't, and he doesn't know what to do. He does have a family. What is he going to do? He's just going to sit there and watch his family starve to death. And he doesn't want to abandon his wife and kid away, especially now during this horrible time that's happening. Now, can he work out online? Can he do it? He has an injury. He does have an injury. There are other issues also that's preventing him to do a lot of stuff. So I don't go too much because it is a private thing, but this will be appreciated. Everything I'm telling you here, you could say this man is suffering with his child and his situation with his wife, and he is stuck right now. You can say literally, you can almost say literally stuck in the Middle East at this moment because he's between a hard place and a rock. If he goes one way, it's wrong. If he goes the other way, it's wrong. So he's there. And what I'm telling you is it's basically 100%. Hang on one second as I fix one more thing here and try to find my my broadcast again. Where did my broadcast went? Okay, I was actually trying to get my window back open here that I had. And we can continue this talk here about bipolar. What happened to my window? Hang on a second. Oh, I think I know what happened here. Yeah, that's my fault. I'm trying to get back over here so we can then continue with this broadcast here on what's going on with my friend. And I'm going to talk to you more about my research into bipolar. What does it do? What's it about? And how does it affect others? And hopefully you guys, anybody listening to me, I know we got a bit of a very small attention span here. People come in. This is a brand new channel. That's another big problem here. I've had other channels in the past, and for whatever reason I left them, But I came back because I wanted to get back into the channel thing and do some broadcasting. But news channels on YouTube are buried behind a wall of 10 billion other news channels. Well, not literally, but you know what I'm talking about. They are extremely. It's very hard to get yourself in front of other people to broadcast anything, man. It's just almost next to impossible to broadcast anything in front of everybody. All right. And then on top of that, I don't see any help coming from the providers of this channel. Like say, hey, this guy's got a problem. Let's boost up his channel. No, I don't know. They're on their whatever their little thing they're at, their little trip they're in, but it doesn't move. The channel doesn't go. It's got a lot of people. Brand new channels do not move forward. They don't put them out there for people to see. It's by luck if you came here. So if you came here by the hand of God. And if you came here by the hand of God, there's a big sign there that says donate. All right. And it's talking about someone who's got a bipolar problem. So maybe you're being told by God, hey, go in your wallet, go get a little bit of cash, and let's change this number that you see there, the $7 to something else, and help out this family. You found a channel that almost nobody can find. This is maybe what is being said to you, and you're kind of ignoring it. And some of you people, I think there's a lot of people that get messages from God. They always I want to hear a message from God. Oh my God, I wish I could see God, I could see Jesus, and hear a message from God. And then when they hear the message from God, they ignore. Oh no, that wasn't from me. He told me to go to China and teach the Bible. Oh no, that's imagination. And that's the kind of stuff you hear. Well, don't ask God to talk to you, and then when He talks to you, you want to ignore it because you don't like the message. That's a lot of problem. The people come here, you look at this fundraising that I'm doing here. You showed up and you found a channel that is very hard to find because it's a brand new channel, and voila, somebody's asking you for a donation. And then you hear a little voice in the back of your head saying, hey, excuse me, this is the Holy Spirit talking to you. You should donate to this family. Oh, no, Holy Spirit. This is a scam. Wait a minute. Who knows more about this, the Holy Spirit or you? Oh, no, you don't know what you're talking about, Holy Spirit. This is a scam. So they won't donate. This guy's in the Middle East. Who knows who this guy is? Yeah, he talks perfect English. This could be AI. Something along that. Look, people, it's not a scam. It's real. These people do need your help for this thing. I was going to talk a little bit about bipolar, what it is. Bipolar, it's devastating for kids. Adults can probably handle it a little better, but when it comes to kids living with bipolar, it's very devastating. And it's also not diagnosed. A lot of teachers don't recognize it. They think the kid's just being nasty, or the kid is just depressed and is very antisocial. And there's a whole bunch of things that's going through the teachers' heads because they really don't train for this kind of stuff. All right, so they don't not trained to recognize the signs of bipolar. Some of them might go through some kind of training, but they forget a lot of this stuff once they get into the school and start making their paychecks. And they got 100 kids bugging the crap out of them every day. They kind of forget about the whole 9 yards, and they move on with their stuff, and they don't recognize the signs of a kid suffering bipolar. All right, bipolar causes a storm in the head, is what it does. It causes a big problem. What do we got here? We got somebody here praying. Oh, okay, that's the Night Overlord. Hey, Night Overlord, I hope you're doing great, man. I hope you and your family are doing great. We're talking about bipolar here and trying to raise some funds in this very, very teeny channel, in which the attention span of the person that comes here to look at this channel, it's about 3.5 seconds. All right. So within that 3.5 seconds, if I'm not saying something that's important, they're going to move on to the next channel. All right. So it's a big deal. And then on top of that, the platform here does not move this channel in front of people so people can look at it. If you run into this channel, it's because you got in it by luck. All right. But I was talking about the bipolar situation. So it's a problem because it's like a storm in their heads. It's like a tornado that comes and goes. I guess that's a good way of putting it. That you have in your head. All right. You could be there. The kid could be like a normal kid. If you actually look at a lot of bipolar kids, they seem 100% normal sometimes. All right. But it could take one thing or two to trigger them to go in a whole different direction. Either total depression or something they don't even want to look at your face, or in the opposite direction where they're just extremely pissed off or something. All right, and this is horrible for the parents who had to. I remember when I first was having this problem with my child, not me. My friend was having this problem with child. I call him. This kid is almost like my daughter. Um, and I remember them having this problem with the child, and it was serious. It was serious because they were going bananas. They kept saying, "What do we do with this? And how do I do with that? And what do we do with this? And how's she going to do with that? She's flunking in school. She's got this problem. She can't handle the math. She can't handle the reading. She can't." And then this is a good friend of mine, so we kind of brainstormed and we started looking at research, and they actually took her to get some help, and the psychiatrist, I gotta be kind of quiet. I don't know if my friend's got if he's listening to this broadcast right now. He may have his kid running around, but took him, and then of course, a kid going to any kind of psychiatrist will say, I think that should be dramatic. And my friend said she was a little bit disturbed by it, but they kind of explained it. They kind of like tried to explain it because she was young. But they seem to. This is what they're indicating: a bipolar problem. All right. The problem is there are medications that it can help bipolar to balance them out and try to, you could say, get them into that middle part where they're okay, almost like a normal life. But they're expensive, and when you're a family that they have no income. My friend has no income. He basically, his wife is basically working. He's pretty much exhausted all his savings. All his savings is out the door. All right, and the corrupt lawyers who were in bed with the insurance company, along with the state, what they call a state insurance, one of those a-holes that works for the state, which I'm sure got greased in order not to side with the insurance company. He didn't get nothing. All right. And that's the way the case goes. This is the way there are little companies out there. They call themselves insurance companies, but when you actually look at their company, who are employed by their company, you'll see that it makes the bulk of their company, their top people are lawyers, and they're not there to defend you or get benefits. The insurance company is there to guarantee that you don't get a dime from them. That's what they're there for. All right, and the bigger they are, the bigger the insurance company, the more money they make, the more they're out there, collecting money from stocks and stuff, the more corrupt they are. All right, and they will walk all over you, man. And there are companies out there also are tied politically to people running for elections, and which when they want to get contracts coming their way, they pretty much boost up their candidates. The corruption level with insurance companies is through the roof. All right. And with the amount of lawyers they got, you cannot defend yourself unless you're ready to really spend some big, big bucks more than than what you're going to get in benefits from them. They know that. All right, but they don't want you. They don't want to pay a dime to you, because if they pay a dime to you, your case another person can use that same case to boost up their case. And so what they do is they take you and they chop you up in little pieces. All right, to guarantee that you don't get a dime in benefits. All right. That's what the insurance companies are. And I've seen many cases, not only my friend's case, but I've seen other people's cases where it's ridiculous what they do, what the insurance companies do. But they sit there every day trying to collect money from every month. Oh, you got to make your payment on the insurance, health care, or whatever the deal is. And now there was a situation that this person did work for the DOD, but because of an idiot that ran for the White House one time, and I'm not talking about Donald Trump, an idiot that came before him, he was siding with the insurance company. All right, and he brought in an insurance company that should have never been brought into that, and possibly my friend right now would have never have been in the struggle that he's in right now. All right, but that's another case for another time, and I'm sure you probably can figure out what insurance company I'm talking about if you have had this problem. But going back to the situation with bipolar. So bipolar is not easy it's not an easy thing to live with. When the person, from what I've studied, the person may not know that they have any of this bipolar, and kids don't want to be told they got any kind of this stuff like this, because it's like they're ashamed of it or embarrassed or whatever the deal is. So it's hard. So they may not know. The parents may not recognize them. Parents get frustrated. Parents will go and basically bash their heads against the wall trying to figure out what is wrong with their kid because they don't get it. Some parents are just don't do research. Or they just don't go and research. I'm kind of glad that I got involved with my friend. I told him, look, you got to do this research. Look at that, and he was able to finally talk to a professional on this and see where they were at with the bipolar, with this bipolar situation. All right. But it is a serious. Anybody, if you actually go on YouTube, then there are some very nice. There's some really good videos out there with some really, you could say, very honest looking people that talk about bipolar, and you say, wow, what they have gone through in their life, but some have overcome, and they have been able to overcome the bipolar problem usually with the medication they take, that can control them and keep them towards the center of their life instead of going all the way to the depression point, or all the way to getting extremely mad at everything, or whatever mood swing during, because it's basically a mood swing that goes one way, one direction, or the other direction, and it's really bad for kids because kids don't understand. Kids in the classrooms will not understand a child like that. They just think there's something horrible wrong with it, or they don't know what to make of it. And there's a lot of stages to bipolar that can affect that kid. All right, so that's something we have to look at. I'm trying to raise up here. How can I YouTube? I got to talk to YouTube on this one. YouTube, how can I raise up any money for this cause? For this bipolar disorder for this family, when I got no views. I got one individual viewing this, and that's it. Nothing else. Couldn't you just, for a couple days, drop some of your stuff, pick up this channel, and put it in front of people's faces so I can get some kind of donation, YouTube? I don't know if YouTube would do it. All right? Because people are going to come in here, listen to me yapping away, and they say, oh my God, look at him. That's the Black Plague. And the guy's going to say, why? Why is that the Black Plague? Because he's only got 1 or 2 followers. Because that's the way people see people here. When they say that you only have a handful of followers, you're like the Black Plague. You're like a disease, or you're like something they can catch. But when they see Johnny over there who's throwing cars off of mountains, and he's got like a million views and a million subscribers, well, Johnny's doing great. That's the one you want to be with. That's the man that throws cars off the mountains. All right? But this guy here, JJ, nah. JJ's only got 10 subscribers. This is a Black Plague. Stay away. And try to convince somebody to give you a like. It's like you're probably better off trying to convince somebody to hand you $1 million, all right, than to give a like here on YouTube. Why? I don't know, because last time I looked, they don't charge you for likes on YouTube. I never heard of YouTube saying, oh, if you give a like, you got to pay for it. I never heard that. And also try to convince somebody to follow you. Oh my God, that's even worse. All right, so I'm over there also on X, and I don't know. I'm trying to get this thing to go live on X, and it doesn't go live on X. I don't know what the deal here is. How can I get it to go live on X? All right, but it's over there. I posted this live feed over there, but then it posts it, and it doesn't post the whole thing. It only posts the line information. It doesn't post like the entire thumbnail of the picture, you could say. I don't know what the deal with that is. All right, so that's over there on X. Now I don't know why. At one time I was able to broadcast one time live on X. I can't find that button anywhere now since Elon Musk got in there. So maybe his little buddies that didn't like when he came in there hid that button. I don't know what happened to it. All right, I can't find it. All right, because I think they're doing a live broadcast over there on X, and I can't find anything. I don't know what is going on with that. So we're going back over here to the situation with this bipolar problem and trying to raise some funding. Look, I can sit here. I actually put music yesterday. I think it was like 8 hours or 10 hours of music. I don't know how long it was. And I put something like along what you see there with the little girl with the bear, the Q code and the short link so you can find the site. And I put that there for like 8 to 10 hours. Did anybody even go over there to the site? I don't think nobody went. And how many views did it get? How many views was there generated? I think it was like 12 views. What? You mean in 8 hours of broadcasting live music and to try to get to raise some funds that only 8 people dare to view for 10 seconds? What in the world is happening here? So I don't know how these people and these funding places are getting funded. Because if they're using social media, if they have a social media like me, I'm having a heck of a time trying to get funded here. All right, this site that they're in is called Go Get Funding. That's the name. It's not crowdfunding. It's Go Get Funding. All right, and they take different things. Let me see if I can. Yeah, this is a. Is that the real? I don't know if I had it open. It should have been open there. All right, but Go Get Funding it is, and I don't know why oh, okay, that's what happened there. Now, I was trying to figure out why wasn't it moving because I was going to show you around. It's because there's a picture on it. It's not the website. Oh, there it is. It does move. Oh, okay. Yeah, it does move. That's the Go Get Funding. All right, that's where it's at. So how do you donate there? Well, you go to Go Get Funding, and you go and if you I can't put here's another one that I find. Another one of these weird things. It used to be on YouTube. When you got a page on YouTube, this I'm talking about a long time ago. When you got a brand new channel on YouTube, you were allowed to put links to other things. All right. Well, now it doesn't allow you to put the link. It requires you to give this and give that and all this other stuff. And if not, you're gonna have to wait 2 months to put a link. Why? Like right now, I can't put a link. I cannot put a link to this site. It's a brand new channel, so I can really not put a link here to this this GoFundMe. So the only thing I do is shorten the link, put it in front of you, and hopefully the people are not too lazy to type it. All right, and they will actually go. Oh, look, they got the QR code. All they gotta do is scan it with their phone. Boop, scan it find a way to scan. Because if you're watching this on your own phone that has the QR scanner, then you're gonna have a difficult time trying to scan it. But if you're on the PC or laptop, and you can be able, and you have an iPhone, any kind of phone, smartphone that's able to scan the QR code, then you're gonna be able to scan the thing. All right, and you'll be able to go over there and make a donation. I don't know how. I mean, I'm really beginning to wonder how long would it take for me to get one more donation here, another donation. Do I have to stay here 3 hours? Do I have to stay here 10 hours, 16 hours, 20 hours, 40 hours, 5 weeks, 10 years? I don't know. How long do I got to stay? On top of that, how long do I got to stay here before the people start recognizing, or this channel is put in front of somebody? People to watch. This channel is not going to be about fundraising. This is not a fundraising channel. I'm putting fundraising because I'm trying to help a friend of mine. This channel is going to be about many different things. It's many different topics. All right, it's not like old radio where you talk about a topic, play a little music, come right back, and then we'll continue on the topic. This is what I want to make. All right, this is what I'm interested in making, so we can sit here, we can all get on the chat room, enjoy everything, and talk about topics, talk about situations happening. I've been talking about the hurricane this whole week. I've been talking about this hurricane that was approaching Florida, Milton, and now it's hit Florida and it's made a heck of a disaster. Like I said, I got a family member who is I don't know where she's at, and I think it's because the phones might be down. That's what I'm thinking. That's what could the problem be if the phones are down, and this is why she's not answering the phone. All right, and not only that, but there's another family member I have in another part of Florida, same problem. They're not answering the phone, so that's a bit of an issue that I'm worried about because I hope nothing's happening to them. All right, so those are issues, and I was looking at a lot of photos on the internet having to do with the damage that was caused there by Milton. There's some horrific photos there of some people's homes being completely wiped out. All right. And that's another thing is I was kind of hoping this channel could get a little bit more views and I'm hoping that YouTube can put the channel in front of people because I have a lot of experience with hurricanes and this job that I used to have overseas too with my friend. This job has to do with protection and safety and all this kind of stuff. And I had experience with Category 5 hurricanes, Category 3 hurricanes, Category 2 hurricanes, and just about any category in between. All right, hurricanes. Because I used to live in Florida, and Florida is the capital of hurricanes. And literally, they got the Hurricanes over there in Miami, who play football for the college. But I've seen a lot of damage, seen a lot of people lost a lot of stuff. There was not an estimate. There was the last thing I heard, there was about 10 people that lost their life on that hurricane. All right, so I think possibly those those counts, that count may go up. Okay, as they look around for more people and they can't find them and so on. All right, so it's a sad situation. I won't go into those numbers. I know I've experienced Category 5, and there's things there when it comes to these death numbers. Not now. I won't talk about that here now. Maybe one day we'll bring that one up. All right. But it is extremely horrible what happened there. But this is what the channel wants to. This is what I'm building up this channel for. I'm building up this channel to basically share my information with people. Talk to people about situations they may have in their lives, or things they want to talk about, national disasters, or events that are happening in other parts of the world. And because I have so much experience in so many different fields, I know I like to give in my 2 cents or talk about it. Just talk about it. We should all sit here and have conversations about different things. All right, and basically like a talk show. It's just a talk show. All right, that's what we're doing here. And last week, most of the last couple of days, has been about hurricane. Now I got out this other one that I'm more concentrating on this fundraising for the bipolar friend of ours, the daughter that has bipolar. But again, this is not topic. This is people that look at this and they're like, "Oh, poor baby," and they keep on. Okay, move on. Their attention span is that of a roach, or something. It's a very short attention span, So they see it here, though they don't. I've actually over there, because my friend, I've actually set up the fundraising for my friend. And I was telling him that look, there's only like 100, and so far like 100. I think it's like 106 people have seen. Let me see. I'll actually go and put it. Let me see if I can see it here. And you can see for yourself. I'm not making up stuff. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it on your monitor, but there's 106 people that have gone to this fundraising channel on go get me funding, or it's a go get funding. All right, that's where the this ad is, not this ad, but this project is at. And 106 people have gone there, and there's only been basically 2 donations from the same individual that it came out to $7. That's it, nothing else. There's no more money being raised there. So I don't know how this GoFundMe or crowdfunding or any of these fundings work, and how they're able to raise up so much money. You see people on here, they have $10,000, $20,000 funded for their situation. I can't get only $7. I've been here almost 2 weeks now. Well, actually, I've been here since October 4th. That's what it says right there. And like I said, this is a thing that I put up for my friend to help him out with the GoFundMe. Why didn't he put it? Because he has problems with the internet. Where he's at. All right. I'm telling you, read the story. You should probably know. You'll know why. What the location is at, why he may have some problems there. All right. So, and I'm trying to raise up the funding for them and their family. It's not only funding for the bipolar, it's funding for the family who is in dire need of trying to get some food on the table. All right. And I don't know if you guys if anybody out here listening to me has ever been like in a situation where you're struggling to even put a salami sandwich in front of you. All right. It's not a comfortable feeling. when you have the landlord knocking on your door telling you to pay your rent, when you have you could say when you go into the supermarket you don't have no. There was the wife here of the mother of the girl. She went through a very embarrassment moment a couple of weeks ago when she went to buy some bread for her daughter for school just to make a sandwich, and she didn't have the money, and there was some rude people behind her in line. They were talking crap to her, you could say, and a gentleman actually had to reach in his wallet to pull out a couple of dollars to pay for the bread. So think about that. All right. So this is the situation they find themselves in. So we're here. I'm here trying to help them out, and so far I've not been able to report anything positive to the family. I'm not able to say, hey, man, look, your GoFundMe account, because the account's not going to me. This is their page. This any money you give there does not go to me. I want to get this clear. It doesn't go to me. It goes to them. All right. They get the money on their account. The wife gets it in her account. She's the one who's got the banking information, and she'll get it under her account. So that goes to them. And it's from what I understand, it's like the individual that donated like $7. It went straight right into helping them out. All right. So I hope you guys can do this. It is, and I'm doing what I can to explain the situation with the family and what they're trying to do. They literally would like to help the daughter out with bipolar. Now, there was two campaigns. The first campaign was trying to get people to donate money just for the food and the rent and all this stuff. Nothing. Like nobody's paying attention. All right. So I told my friend, I go, you know what? Maybe you should also, because I know he wants to also find the money for to put his daughter to get the daughter out of school and put her at home so she can get a better education, possibly with people that understand what bipolar is. All right. And I go, look, we have to put in the bipolar problem in there. We're just not nobody's paying attention to any of this. All right. And I don't know how long, like I say, I don't know how long you have to be out here in one of these sites to get any attention from anybody. And even if this site, because here's the thing, the site is the same. This site, GoFundMe, a lot of these sites work on something called algorithms. Just like YouTube and Twitter and Facebook, they all work in these algorithms. What they do is they promote what people are interested in. Like right now, if people started to make donation on the Go Get Me funding page of theirs. All right, this one that you see here where the QR code goes at, and people started to make donations. Then what it is the algorithm starts to push the channel or their donation page in front of other people. The more you get, the more it gets pushed up front. When you don't have little or no donations, it gets buried in the back of everything, of everybody. So you're not seen by nobody. All right, it just dies back there, and right now it's just dying. This page is basically the donation, the effort to donate, or you say trying to raise funds. It's just sitting there dying. There's nobody really making an effort to go in there, and I'm very disappointed to see. I don't know if you can see it there, but there's a number there. It says right below how many views? 106. 106 people have viewed this, and it's only been 2 donations from the same individual. That's it. All right, that's sad. All right, that's pretty sad. All right, that people came, looked at the channel, and only one individual had the heart to open it up and donate a couple of dollars. Man, if you go to Starbucks or one of these fast food restaurants nowadays, man, you pay way more than a couple of dollars for coffee or a sandwich or whatever the deal is. I'm not asking you. I don't think they're asking, or I'm asking, or anybody's asking for you guys to go over there and donate $5,000. Well, donate whatever you can, whatever you're able to. Make a donation. Whatever God puts in your heart, donate. Pay attention to the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit tells you to donate big bucks, then donate big bucks. The Holy Spirit says donate 50 cents, then donate 50 cents. But pay attention to it. All right? and do that donation to help out the family. This money is going to go to help out the family and help out. If okay, here it is. If let's say for some miracle, maybe a miracle of God, walk on water type of miracle, this page ended up going to the top of the list of the Go Get fundings. They moved it to the front of the people's faces, and the same thing YouTube. YouTube allowed it to go up front, and people to see it all over the place. All right, and people started to come and rush to this channel. All right, and they were able to start to raise money. All right, that money, the money's going to go. A lot of that money is going to go to paying for rent that has backed up 1 month, paying for the food that they don't have. All right, paying for bills such as the internet, which though if they don't have no internet, how can they even get on there and put anything? All right, and organizing to find the school they will allow their kids to stay home and be taught by people who know how to handle people with bipolar. All right, and I'm sure the schools are out there for this kind of situation. All right. And your help will be greatly appreciated by them to help out in this way. I don't know. I'll sit here blabbing away. If you guys come here, ask questions, get into conversations, because I can only say so much, and what I find myself is repeating it, and then repeating it some more. I find myself on a loop. That's what I find myself in. I can't force you to go to that page and donate $1. That's up to you going there and taking the time to donate anything. It takes Bitcoin for those who want to make it easy on their life. You may be somebody that has Bitcoin. They can take Bitcoin. The Go Get Fund Me people have added a little thing in the bottom where you can put Bitcoin, where you can donate Bitcoin. So it says it right there that the Bitcoin is activated. So it's on the father actually got the Bitcoin wallet for this kind of vacation to get donations, but he's not a Bitcoin investor. If he was a Bitcoin investor, he wouldn't be out here asking you for anything. All right, because you have the money. If you have money to be a Bitcoin investor, you probably have money for other stuff, food and paying your rent. So he's not a Bitcoin investor. All right, but Bitcoin could be it's just another vehicle to raise that could be used to pay for or donate some funding here. All right. It takes, from what I understand, Go Get Funding takes all kind of bank cards, pretty much all kind. I don't know if it takes like the Express or whatever else out there. I barely use bank cards. I just stick to ATMs. But that also takes bank cards, and I think it also takes the ATMs and all that. So it takes there's a lot of stuff you can do. You can use the Bitcoin. It's not a means you're going to go on and give out one Bitcoin they call 65,000 or whatever. No, that's not the way Bitcoin works. You will give it's whatever you want. If you want to donate $1, it's $1 of Bitcoin. If you want to donate $100 of Bitcoin, it's $100 of Bitcoin. Whatever. Maybe some whale will listen. Maybe some big fat ooh. One of those big whales will come by. Oh, look at there. I want to be donating. And they can hit me up with hit us up with, you could say, a big donation. And I will probably not be on the air tomorrow. Wasn't any more of this donation run, because I'll tell you, hey, my friend was able to get more than enough money from a Bitcoin whale that made a big giant deposit. So they're good to go for a couple of years here with their daughter, and they're paying their bills and stuff like that. All right, but that's one of those walk on water moments. That's one of those, resurrection moments, you could say, come back from the grave type of deal. But with God, all things are possible. That's a good thing. With God, all things are possible. So God says, look, you try, you do, you put your time into it, and I will do my side. So that's what I'm doing. And that's what they're doing. They're out there on their side doing what they can to keep their child safe and and a little work and stuff, and save as much as they can. If they have to eat bread, they're eating bread. If they have to eat rice, they eat rice. All right, but they're doing what they can to survive. And I'm aware of this. I'm over here. I don't want to see people suffer, and I'm trying to help them out with this fundraising. Is what I'm trying to do. All right, so that's what it is, people. And we all try to help each other, and hopefully things will work out. So far, I gotten on. This is just to show you how pathetic this channel is right now, because it's a brand new channel. Like I said, it's like the Black Plague for anybody coming here. 3 views. 3 views is all this channel has gotten since I got out here to broadcast. I've been out here 44 minutes broadcasting. Out of 44 minutes, I got 3 views, and I got 1 like. That's it. All right. That's not going to be if I was getting, let's say, every hour 400 or 500 views. All right. And likes, then I know that at least a couple of people will go over there to the Go Get Me funding, even if it's only 2 or 3 people. But we may see some money being donated there. But with this amount of views, it's basically like trying to win the lottery. The odds of people donating any kind of money over there is very low. And I do have Twitter. Maybe I'll share my Twitter on here. Let me get my Twitter account, and I can share it on here. Hang on a sec. Where's that Twitter account? There it is. Oh, it's not. Well, actually, it's not Twitter anymore. It's X, as we all know. I just keep calling it Twitter. I don't know why Elon must change that name to X, but for whatever reason, he changed it. Let me put a X here, so you guys can go over there to X. Voila, there's X right there. I do have a Facebook account, and I also put it on Facebook. And where in the heck is a Facebook account? Man, I gotta find it. I don't use much Facebook, but that is the X one. You can go there to X, and oh, it says 2 likes. Where do you get the second like from? on my system is Overlord is saying that I have 2 likes on that page, but on my system it's only saying I got 1 like. On the main broadcasting one, it's only saying there's only 1 like. So maybe because it needs to be refreshed or something. I don't know. But it's only showing 1 like. You see, it's pretty live. It's live. Whatever goes on is juicy live. But it's only showing 1 like on there. So hey, 2 likes is 2 likes. I wish I had 20 donations by now. I will be ecstatic. My friend will be ecstatic, and everybody will be singing "Gumbayage." But well, it's not the case. So. But we hang in there. Sometimes God gives you subtle signals. He says, "Just hang in there. Look, check out my signal there," and you pay attention to God. And you say, "Okay, I'm gonna hang in there, even though it looks like we're in a desert here with no trees, no shade, no nothing. We're gonna keep on trucking here." So I want to keep on trucking and try to put what I can out here. I'm hoping that my friend here on the Night Overlord can also bring up something he wants to chat about. Because now that I'm fundraising, but I can go from from talking about fundraising to others topics, as long as they're not highly controversial. You'll be struck down by the platform lightning or whatever the deal is. So no, I can't. I really don't want to refresh this page. I'm again being disconnected on this because the one I'm in right now, the page that I'm in right now, is the Ming Enchilada, the one that does that holds the broadcast, and it has the chat room. So I don't want to mess around with that too much. I one time ended up losing that dumb page, and I had a hard time getting back to it. But so. Today, what are we doing out here? If you actually have walked in here for whatever reason from the Twilight Zone and you're entering this page and you're wondering, what is all this about? Who's this guy with 10 subscribers? What the hell? Black Plague. Bye-bye. No, before you actually say that, we're raising fund. Live fundraising for bipolar disorder. And that's just part of it. That's like half of what the fundraising is for. The other the family has a bipolar. A daughter was bipolar, but they also had deep financial problems. So it's a situation where you're raising for two things, not just one thing. All right. So I hope that people can come in here and make the donation and donate something to help out. Here, like right now, like about almost 50 minutes. And I don't know. I don't know how many YouTube videos you need to make before it actually starts to show up anywhere on their algorithm to get them to push this video toward the front. You know, is it 10 videos? Is it 100 videos? Is it 1,000 videos? I don't know. You know, and I don't know how long it takes. Is it something that's going to take a couple of weeks, a couple of months, a couple of years? I don't know. And I'm kind of like shooting here in the dark when it comes to this kind of stuff. But you would think, well, you know, it's for a good cause, and people would think, well, hey, that's a good cause. Let's try to help out this guy by taking this channel and boosting it up a little bit and allowing people to see it. But that's up to anybody out there that has a heart. You know, if they're not, they're just more business type. They just keep it like that. Just nothing there. So that's where it's at. So, Night Overlord. Are you, what's your, like, give me a approximate, what's your location? Are you on the East Coast, the West Coast? What part of town are you in? There are, bombshells. This is a bombshell here. What kind of bombshell do you get here? There are authors and channels and Consider Fire has bombshells on the hurricane issue, and I was shocked. Yeah, there are some stuff having to do with the hurricanes. I'm not going to go and get into this. I already explained why. Why I'm not getting into some of this stuff. If it's controversial, it's too hot to handle. Let's try not to get into it. All right. Let's talk about little puppy dolls and roses. Sometimes that's what we're going to talk about. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it is kind of controversial. There are stuff out here that if you touch it, if you touch it, you know, things blow up in your face. So, well, you're on the West Coast. Okay, that's good. West Coast is pretty good. Well, West Coast, you don't get that many hurricanes. You just get devastating earthquakes. And the West Coast, you know, which is lousy, but it is. When I say I know, I'm just letting you know. Okay, that's good. No, I know that you know about this stuff. But you know, there are. I think there are other things we can touch on. All right, weather systems. I'll get a little bit onto the weather systems. But then I can't because what I know about weather system and what they allow you to say are two different things. There's a lot of stuff that I know about when it comes to the weather system, and it's just regular research. If anybody can go out there and do research, you'll find it on your own, people. And there's no denying of something stuff that's being claimed out there. It's not like somebody making it up. All right, it's just real stuff. What they're talking about. All right, so I cannot get into that. And and the thing about earthquakes, that's something that's been suspected for a while. But there are solar flares happening out there. All right, there's been a couple X-class solar flares gone out last week. CMEs coming towards the Earth, so on and on, and all this can have a big effect on your magnetic field. And the magnetic field, there is no if or buts about it. There's no denying it. This is not a conspiracy theory. It's just cold hard facts that the Earth's magnetic field is moving. It's on the move, and it's getting faster every year. All right, that's not a conspiracy. That's not made up. You just go and look it up yourself. That is happening with the Earth magnetic field. All right. Some people, right now, as soon as I mentioned that, somebody just hung up. Boom, they took off. I guess, some people don't even want to hear it. What do you want me to say? I'm not making this up. Go read it up yourself. But going back to, I was talking about bipolar here. Maybe people want me to stick to bipolar, the small little people that come here once in a while. Stick to the bipolar. Don't go across that line to other stuff. Well, I'll do it again. Bipolar. It's like I said. It's for adults. It's not easier. It's more manageable. You can manage bipolar a little better when you're an adult. If you know that you have it. Some adults have bipolar, but they they just never been nobody's ever gone. They haven't gone to a psychiatrist. They haven't been uh, nobody's checked them out to say, hey, you have a problem with bipolar. All right, diagnosis. They have never been had that, so they don't know if they have it. So, but I'm sure there are 20 people out there, a lot of people out there that have bipolar. They all their life, and they just nobody. They've never gone to a psychiatrist or any kind of health. Anybody mental health. They can they can determine if they have it or don't have it, and they live with it. All right. Sometimes what you have out there when people have short tempers, or they have really extreme moves from one place to another place, where they're happy one moment and depressed another moment and pissed off another moment. That's all indication of bipolar. A lot of that stuff is indication of bipolar. Someone has bipolar. All right. Now, as an adult, it's a little different. An adult can recognize the symptoms after a while, if they know about it, if they know this is a problem. Because some people don't even know what, you ask a lot of people, and they don't even know what bipolar is. All right. But if somebody has actually been told, look, you are suffering from this bipolar problem, then they may be able to manage their system. When they find themselves drifting or heading into either depression or being extremely mad or some other move that they're going to get into, then they can then manage the situation. All right, and try to get themselves to go in a different direction. And I believe there's training out there for that kind of stuff that healthcare providers or mental health care providers can teach them techniques for this kind of stuff. All right, to help them out. Because if you can manage your bipolar, you can pretty much live a normal life. All right. And the issue is when you don't know if you have it and you're actually going off the deep end and you have no idea why you're going off the deep end. That's the problem with bipolar. These people with bipolar don't realize sometimes that they're going off the deep end. They think and people will just say, "Oh, that person's got a horrible temper. Oh, that person is always depressed. Oh, that person." And what is it? That person has a problem. It's a to me, is a chemical imbalance in their heads. All right, they're producing either too much of one chemical, too little some kind of chemical. Something has caused their brains to have this problem. Your brains has electrical signals and chemicals. All right, and somewhere in your brain it's sending the wrong signal. All right, or sending too much of one signal and creating problems. All right, people bipolar can also become very defensive. If you try to talk to somebody with bipolar and you tell them you got this or that, they don't want to hear it. Or if somebody with bipolar, if somebody who's mad, let's say somebody who's got bipolar and either they're depressed or mad, you can really by talking to them. If they're defensive towards you, if they find you like you're trying to hurt them or you're trying to make fun of them or something like that, they get deeper into their system, into whatever they're in. And that move, whatever move they're in, if they're in the depressed move, they get deeper into depression. If they're in a move where they're mad, they just get more mad. All right. So that's another thing is people that don't understand it. There's a lot of people out there that don't understand what bipolar is, and these people suffer because when they gotta go into the job market, the person doing the interview may not know that person has bipolar, and will hire them. And when they're at the interview, they probably be just like a calm person going through an interview, but later on they're at work, and at work there's problems. All right. Because anything could set them off the edge. Either they can go off the edge and being extremely mad, or they can go off the edge and getting into some kind of depression where they're not showing to work or whatever the deal is, and it's just part of this bipolar problem. All right, and where does all this bipolar problems come? To me, it's coming from a lot of the food that we eat, and I think one of the biggest corporate one of the biggest problem out there It's saturated fats. It's not fat. It's vegetable fat. You could say oil. I tell people stay away from anything that has to do with vegetable oil. Oil. That is not a natural oil. That is not an animal oil. That is a that is basically a man-made oil from seeds. The canola plant, I think it is, where they make a lot of this oil from. Another sunflower, I think it is also, another. All right, and it's a lot of refinements go through it, and a lot of this they have people that go back to like the 1920s. This is what I'm saying here is not a conspiracy theory. Let's get that through our heads. All that I'm saying here, you can go and do the research yourself. You can go back and see what was the amount of heart attacks, what happened when vegetable oil started to hit the market. What did Crisco did, the one that does the synthetic lard. All right, how they went from 1 minute to the other selling their oil, and it became extremely popular. How much money they received from donors, and it's amazing if you actually go and read the history of the oil that's out there that nobody should be touching was a 10-foot pole. The problem with the oil, the vegetable oil, is it's in almost every product nowadays. Any food products, most food products have vegetable oil. And this is the first recorded heart attack, and I was shocked to find this out. That the first recorded heart attack, and I believe it was, I don't know if it was global, if it was only the United States, was like in 1920. And you would think, well, man, heart attacks should have been back like way back, like in 1700s, and people should have had heart attacks all their life. There should have been a lot of more information on heart attacks. No, the first recorded heart attacks go back to like 1920 something it was. All right, and that's when before that already vegetable oil was hitting the market. All right. So and then from there, if you look at the charts for health problems, you see where the more vegetable oil hits the market, the more health problems there are with all artistic, bipolar, all kind of mental problems, because your brain has a lot of oils and a lot of fatties, a lot of stuff makes up for these chemicals. And when you have something that is toxic, you're going to have problems. We're basically, vegetable oil is getting to a point where it's basically poisoning people. All right. Nobody should put it in their body. Companies that do fast food should drop vegetable oil. Should just get out of the damn thing. And they should go back to animal fat oils. All right. And fry their French fries and make their burgers with only animal fat. All right. And really stay away from vegetable oil. And I remember I used to get these horrible headaches. And they were basically, the doctor, at a very young age, the doctor told me that I was having migraines. All right, so, and my headaches were so horrible that I had a hard time. I will lose sight. I will hit like a nerve in my eye where I start losing sight. I will see like a cloud. Felt like I was inside of a fog. All right, and when I was young, nobody told me it was vegetable oil. Nobody ever told me, hey, well, it's because of this, or because you're eating too much of this, or no. Nobody knew. That's something nobody back then will even consider. So with time, I started to see a connection between the food I ate and these horrific migraines that I got. All right. And I noticed when I stopped eating this kind of food, I didn't get the migraines. And as soon as I ate anything with it, and I got the migraines. But then I started to put more research into it. And what I found was that all the foods that I was having problem with had vegetable oil. Those chips you see in the store, vegetable oil. The cooked in vegetable oil. The popcorn, vegetable oil. A lot of the fast foods, vegetable oil. And it was on and on. A lot of the stuff I was having problem was were cooked in vegetable oil. The problem with vegetable oil is the worse the quality, the more horrible it's going to be for your system. All right, and it could cause this massive a lot. United States, there's a lot of people with migraines, and they don't. A lot of them don't realize what it is. And pharmacies, these big pharmaceutical companies, don't want to tell you, hey, your biggest problem with migraines is vegetable oil. Stop using that, because they're not going to make money off these pills that they sell you. All right. But me, if I'm over here, I'm talking to you, you're listening to me. You're one of the few persons to come out here to the channel that only has 10 subscribers, and you're listening to this. Be aware that vegetable oil could have a huge impact on your mental health, and not only on your mental health, but on your overall health for your body. Vegetable oil is not a natural oil that should be anywhere in your body. And when I talk about vegetable oil, it's all like, oh, I take olive oil. Sorry, that also has problems. Oh, I take coconut oil. Sorry, that also should not be put in your body. Anything having to do with coming from processed stuff should not be in your body. All right. And there's people out there, oh, they swear by olive oil. I love olive oil when I can take it, but I noticed it. I got to a point where I couldn't tolerate it anymore because the headaches I was getting. And here's the thing about olive oil: the market for olive oil is one of the most manipulated markets there is. This is not me making up conspiracy theory. Do the research yourself. All right. Olive oils. There's not enough olive trees around the entire world to make the amount of olive oil being consumed globally. So there were estimates out there that at least that are as high as 80% or even more of the olive oil that people buy in the store is not real olive oil. Even if it says what is that? It's a word that they use to make it sound like it's really good olive oil. Extreme, I don't know, something like that. Some kind of name that I forgot. Right now I can't remember. But it's not, as a lot of it is fake olive oil. It's just vegetable oil. Manipulated to taste like olive oil. But it's not olive oil. Alright? And they say, people say have common sense. Just look at the amount of olive oil producing countries and the amount of trees that they have and what a company is able to produce, and you're going to see extra olive oil. Yeah, that's what Overlord says here. Yeah, that's once you do the math, you're gonna realize you look at the consumption of olive oil, and then you look at the production of olive oil, and you can see the numbers don't match. All right, there's a huge difference between the amount of olive oil that people consume and what is being produced. Two big differences there. All right. So that is something to consider when you go buy olive oil. That unless you went to the farm where they were actually processing olive oil and they had olive oil trees, you might be getting a bunch of dog crap is what you're getting. All right. You're just getting regular vegetable oil with the taste of olive oil. It's what you're getting. All right. I've actually tasted to me it was probably the real stuff because it really, really tastes good. Great taste. But most of the oils that I tasted, olive oil, even though it has a taste to it, but it's not real. A lot of it's not real. Synthetic oils, you should never give your kid synthetic oil. It's something called HTV or something, HTC or something like that. It's inside that chemical that's causing us a lot of this problem. Inside that oil is causing a lot of problems. You should look up documentaries have to do with it, and they'll give you the breakdown on what is being and why this oil is affecting so many kids and why so many kids are being born with autism. They're being born with bipolar disease and all these mental issues. And a lot of it has to do with the pregnant mom consuming these oils. All right, because a lot of women out there will consume vegetable oils. It's almost nowadays it's almost like impossible to eat something that doesn't have vegetable oil. You basically will have to make it yourself. Let's say you get a salad, make it, because salad dressings are basically oil. Mayonnaise are oil. These are vegetable oils. So if you're consuming salad dressing, if you're consuming mayonnaise and this kind of stuff, you're basically looking at olive oil. You're looking at vegetable oil. All right. And if you go to a place that makes hamburgers, they got mayonnaise, and they might say a salad with salad dressing, and their fries are being fried in vegetable oil, and on and on and on. All right. Now, from what I understand, I think it was McDonald's. All right, that at one time they were frying their French fries in animal fat. And actually, if you compare the people that were eating at McDonald's going back in the 1980s, before they changed it to vegetable oil, you'll see that the people that were eating in McDonald's who had oil from animal fat were less obese. All right. And once the vegetable oil got introduced into McDonald's and people that are really, eating these fast food French fries from these restaurants, and a lot of restaurants started to go to vegetable oils, then you see this blow up in the United States of obese people. Now, I'm a person who spent a lot of time overseas. I spent probably a third of my life overseas. All right, so I lived in other countries overseas, in different parts of the world. You'd be amazed how certain countries, like one country that I lived was Egypt. Now I know Egypt doesn't get a lot of food, but here it is. They don't eat a lot of this fat. They're not out there stuck in these fast food restaurants all the time. And a lot of the men's and women's in places like Egypt are fit in their weight. They're in their proper weight. They're neither obese or neither skinny. All right. And I've been to other places in the Middle East, in the Gulf area, anywhere from Kuwait all the way going down to Bahrain, Abu Dhabi, Dubai. People are fit. A lot of the Arabics and native people to that country are fit. A lot of Indians that work in these countries, places in the Gulf, they're fit. So it's like for every 10 person that you see in these countries, you may have one person that could be overweight, or not even that, or maybe 1 out of 20. All right. And the U.S. is the complete opposite. For every 20 people you see, you may see 10 people fat or more or overweight. All right. We're out of control. And it's because we're allowing these companies to go lobby over there in Washington, D.C., pay off the right people, and continue this party with these oils. And these oils are leading to autism. They're leading to bipolar. They're leading to all kind of health problems. And on top of that, they're dealing to heart disease. They're leading to all kind of diseases within your body. They're making people bloated. All right. It is time the government stepped in and said, we're going to remove this synthetic oil out of our diets, and give and basically just give an ultimatum that in 5 or 3 years all synthetic oils will be removed out of the American diet. And we'll have to go back to animal fat. All right. We can no longer continue on this road. If the United States continues on the road of consuming vegetable oil along with the rest of the world, you may see a crisis down the road where the population is really going to get hurt. And the amount of money that obesity and mental issues is costing taxpayers is huge, because a lot of time people end up in hospitals, can't pay their bills. And this is globally. obesity is a huge issue, as and so is mental health care. All right. And if you go back to it, a huge percentage of this is coming from the food they were eating. All right. And one of the culprits of this food is vegetable oil. Probably the biggest one is vegetable oil. But people still go over there and gobble up all kind of hamburgers, all kind of food cooked in vegetable oil. And then they wonder why they're so obese, why they're feeling so bad, why are they having mental issues? Well, shit. All you gotta do is go and look at all the videos that have already been made out. That have been made having to do with vegetable oil. And you'll be amazed. And go back and look at the history of vegetable oil and look at the impact of health. Look at that health previous to vegetable oil, pre-vegetable oil, and then look at it post-vegetable oil. And you're going to see that there's a big difference in health. All right? And it's also a big difference in health problems. We're really going to have to look at that. What I've been raised up today, I've been able to raise up. Ready? 0. I raised up for this family. I feel very pathetic with this. Only $0. No matter what I sit out here, no matter what I sit here and say or what time I spend out here, I can't seem to raise $1 for this family. All right, which is really pathetic that I can't raise $1 out here. What does it take for me to raise any money out here for this family with a daughter with bipolar? And even when I'm sitting here and giving some good information, the channel's sitting out there in some basement, I guess is where the channel is at, and getting no attention. And I put it over there on, I even put it on X, and still no attention to the channel. All right. I know people probably over there are wondering what's going on with the tornado or the hurricanes or whatever, and maybe that's what they're spending their time in. So I don't know. I can't do anything here. I know I don't have the money to help this family right now with a couple of hundreds of dollars to boost up these channels, because if on X you can boost up the channel, I think here on YouTube you can boost up the channel. There's no money for that. I don't have money for that. If I had money for that, I'll give it to the family and let them go pay their rent and buy some food. All right. So there's no way to boost up these channels. I can't go hire some hooker somewhere and say, hey, show your big boobs out here so we can make some hits. And I'm not going to do that either. So that's not happening. So, all I can do is come here and talk and hope that somebody views the channel for more than 10 seconds and something catches their attention. And they'll sit here watching the channel. And then maybe take a little bit of time to go over there to the go get funding page of these people and donate something for this family, which will be great. 3 views, and I've been out here for 1 hour and 17 minutes. 3 views. That's it. That's pretty pathetic. All right, I don't know what else to say. I've been talking about vegetable oil and how vegetable oil impacts all these mental problems and everything from bipolar to, like I say, all kind of stuff. It impacts, and a lot of family members and people, women said that consume vegetable oil when they're pregnant. It should be where the doctors should be telling women who got pregnant not to consume anything with vegetable oil. Remember, it took a lot of work to get doctors to tell pregnant women not to smoke. It took a big campaign by the government to push this. And if we can get the right government that has a heart and is for the people, not against the people, we may be able to get the people in our government to start talking to medical people, doctors and people within the medical industry, to start passing that message out to pregnant women. They're not to consume anything that has vegetable oils. They could have. The problem is the baby formula, and many of what babies consume have vegetable oil. So not only does the government need to step in and tell the mothers not to consume vegetable oil of any kind on any kind of food, but the government needs to step in and tell formula people that make formula milk and any kind of products for babies, and pass out laws making it illegal for them to put any kind of vegetable oils in baby foods. All right. And little by little, they need to work that up until maybe in a decade from now, we can get to the point where we can get rid of vegetable oil. All right. What was I saying? Olive oil comes from the real olive oil comes from from actual olive oils. All right. The problem is there's not enough olive oil. There's not enough olive trees in the entire world for people to consume, and there's a huge market for olive oil. So what you see out there mainly is not real olive oil. It's vegetable oil disguised as olive oil. And it's such a big profit-making business because it's just a overlord here was asking me a question about olive oil. That's why I got into this. There's such a big market for olive oil that some countries who that's one of the big industries, olive oil, they're turning a blind eye to it, knowing that a lot of their people that are selling the olive oil in their country or exporting it, it's exporting garbage. All right, so that's the case with that. But the company, since the country is making money off of this, they don't say nothing. They basically turn a blind eye to this. This is a huge thing having to do with olive oil. All right, it's a big multi, I believe, into the billions of dollars market when it comes to olive oil. And people wanna you're a small country in some place where it's third world country, you're not making a lot of money, but you can you can take your corn or vegetables or whatever or your canola or sunflowers and produce oil, sunflower oil. I mean, not sunflower oil, but an oil that then you can change the taste of it and make it taste like olive oil and sell it as olive oil, which is going to pay you more money than regular oil. All right? That's a big issue with these countries. And I'll tell you right now, if you go to the supermarket and you try to find animal oils, it's not easy to find animal. Most of everything you see in the supermarket is vegetable oil. And that's a story that you need to go look up, the history of crystal, which is a lard. Lard mainly comes from animal, which is like a white pasty cooking oil. That came from animals. All right, but crystal, if you go look at it's pretty interesting, the history of crystal lard. That's vegetable oil. And if you look at it, when they started out and who actually were the ones behind them, you'll be surprised. Who were the company that gave them the money to become the big crystal companies? I'm not going to get into that because it's going to be like a little bombshell, but you'll be amazed who's behind. And I don't say Bill Gates because Bill Gates was not around back then. Maybe his dad was around back then, but not him. But there are companies that got behind that, and for their own little benefits, they promoted the crap out of these synthetic oils. All right. So that's what you got to watch out for. Synthetic oils, you need to, if you're suffering from any kind of mental issue, you have to stay away from synthetic oils, from these vegetable oils because it's saturating possibly your condition, and you should stay away from it. And I know you're gonna have a hard time staying away from it because it's just about in every kind of food. All right, you'll find that, and you're gonna end up losing. If you're somebody that eats at one of these fast food restaurants 2 or 3 times out of the week, you're gonna find issues with that because that food contains all vegetable oil. Most of that, 90% of I think probably all these restaurants, all their food's being cooked in vegetable oil because it's cheaper. I don't know where, and I tell you the truth, you go to the supermarket, I don't know where the heck is the animal fat. Where's the animal oil? I don't see it. All right, all you see is vegetable oil. You know, so it's becoming rare. To get a good animal oil that you can use. And restaurants and all this, that's why eating in restaurants and eating in fast food places, the food tastes great. It's fantastic to get yourself a nice juicy cheeseburger and chow down on it. But there's massive amount of vegetable oils on that cheeseburger, on the stuff that you're eating. Now the cheeseburger, hamburgers are a little different. When somebody makes a hamburger and puts the bread, that's a little different. And I'll tell you that because a long time ago, when I was a kid, teenager, I actually ended up working in one of these fast food restaurants. I won't say which one, but it was making hamburgers. It was a very short time, but some of them will cook it on the grill, like a flat grill. You could say what they call skillet grill, whatever. And it's just the ground beef, and that's it. It's cooked on his own oil. All right, that's not the problem. The ground beef being cooked in his own oil. It's basically you're cooking it with animal fat. And other ones will put it to a grill, like some of the fast food restaurants. They'll put the ground beef or the hamburger patty to a grill that all the oil, basically a lot of the oil comes out of it. All right, so they're not cooking it. A lot of the hamburger people are not cooking their hamburgers in any kind of vegetable oil. What they're cooking in their vegetable oil is their fries. That's one thing that's being cooked in the vegetable oil. And if you're having anything that is fried, such as or has some kind of has anything on it, like Kentucky Fried Chicken and stuff, this stuff is being cooked possibly in vegetable oil. All right, so that's when you got to stay away from vegetable oil. It's a really bad thing for mental health. So another thing you'll find in some of these fast food restaurants is salads, where it has a lot of salad dressing. The salad dressing contains I would think almost all of them contain vegetable oil. All right, or mayonnaise, because this is what happens. This is where things begin to stack up and go wrong. It's when you get into the fries, you get into the mayonnaise, you get into other stuff that you put on those hamburgers that contain vegetable oil. All right, and that's when you start piling up the wrong stuff on your hamburger. All right, and that's where you start having these problems. You could have problems with vegetable oil. All right, so that's something you got to keep an eye on. But there are other restaurants that fry their food in vegetable oil or create their vegetable in their fast food restaurants, and then that's that issue. All right. So I think if the government were to get involved and say we're going to get rid of vegetable oil because there's too much diseases associated with it, and especially a lot of mental diseases for kids and young people, the government will be saving a lot of money in the long run because a lot of these people, a lot of obesity and people with mental issues, hopefully that will come down, and you could save a lot of problems with health issue problems, with money being spent on health issue problems. All right. The people that are in the pharmaceutical companies will not like the idea because they make a lot of money out of obese people who are overweight. All these health medicines, such as blood pressure medicine, heart medicine, diabetes medicine, all this stuff that this cooking oil is actually producing, they're making a ton of money off that. All right. Like I said, you will be surprised in who gave Crystal their money to get that company going. You'll be surprised. Go look it up. Uh, who gave Crystal the big bucks to get their company going? And their company wasn't going anywhere. Their company was doing very, very bad. And along came this big, fat, juicy check from somebody that loved the idea of them poisoning America because it was going to make them money. All right. So that's what's out there. So you really got to be aware of this stuff. Now, how far have I raised? How much money have I raised today? Let me see. Surveys say. Well, not surveys say. Let's bring up the numbers here. I have raised up. Oh, somebody made a donation for $22. I mean, not $22. I will guess like $12. I guess it is something like that. So there was a donation. All right. I'm not sure. Who made the donation? Because I don't want to put up their names out here because in case they don't, I can hit here a button and put up their name will show up, but I don't want to do that. So, God bless the person that made the donation. We're up to $22 here, and thank you for the kind donation for the person that donated some money here. All right. So I will keep talking. I'm like the jukebox. You continue to drop the donations, and I'll keep talking. It's what I'll keep talking here. But thank you for the donation to the individual that donated. I think I know maybe it might have been, but thank you. And I totally appreciate it. I will continue to talk about this stuff here. Going back to the situation with bipolar and people that have other mental issues. All right. These diseases, a lot of these diseases, children started to get this when the U.S. started to move to vegetable oil. And when the U.S. started to move to vegetable oils, other countries who had animal oil seen what the U.S. was doing, and they started to move to vegetable oil. And before you know, the entire world is moved on to vegetable oil. All right. And you see the entire world is getting into problem. Now, why are people like in Egypt slim and this stuff? Because a lot of them still use the animal oil in their diet. All right. And a lot of them do not eat fast food restaurants. They don't eat in fast food restaurants. And if you go to Egypt and you go to like McDonald's or Burger King or any kind of these fast food restaurants, it could be expensive for the common person in Egypt. That'd be something that it's almost like a luxury. If you ask the common person in Egypt how many times do they eat in one of these restaurants, they could tell you maybe once every couple of months, or not even that. Maybe once a year. It's not it's young people, because almost like being a fad, will shop will buy sometimes in fast food restaurants their food. All right, such as these American fast food restaurants. All right, but the other ones, the older people, once you become, they just really is not within their budget to go spend a lot of money on fast food restaurants. It's more expensive. These fast food restaurants overseas are more expensive than they are in the United States. So they don't want to spend their money on that. So that's an issue for people around the world. Now, here's another one. If you look at countries like Kuwait, Dubai, and rich Gulf Arabic nations, there is a problem with young people being obese. All right. And what it's been introduced to these countries is fast food from America. All right, and where do these kids? A lot of these obese kids get their food from fast food. All right, and you see some of these bloated whales eating at these fast food places. All right, the adult Arabic, for whatever reason, seems to be more comfortable eating their native food than to eat fast food. And there are other foods that they make, which to me probably be more healthy than eating this fast food restaurant stuff. So they're doing better. What do I got here? They are selling animal on Amazon. I don't know about that. Um, that's what I just had Night Overlord tell me something about that. I don't know if they're selling animals on Amazon. I don't. I'm not looking for any kind of animal so to buy any kind of animal on Amazon. But I was just talking about the the food in countries. There's a lot of countries that they cannot afford fast food. American fast food, they're actually expensive. And a lot of those countries, you'll see that their population is not bloated like it is in the U.S. I'm amazed to see how many bloated people there are in the U.S. compared to, or if you spend time overseas like I have, you're amazed when you get on a plane and you come back to the U.S. and you say, "What in the hell happened here? What are all these overweight people?" And then you get on the plane and go back to whatever country you came was, to another country overseas, and you say, "What a big difference!" Well, you have people with normal weights, and you have people with at normal weight, obese people, all right, on one side, and the U.S. is packed with obese people. And if you look at the U.S., one of our number one commercials is either they're selling you health medicine having to do with your health situation, health, or medicine having to do with issues in your body that have to do with health. And it's a huge industry. You don't see those commercials overseas. You barely see any commercial overseas where they're promoting some kind of health medicine. Almost nothing. I think the only one I kind of that I seen was maybe was for a headache. But all this medicine that you see in the U.S. being promoted every time you turn on the TV, and you're watching cable TV or satellite TV, whatever the deal is, all that stuff, you won't see almost none of that over in like in places like in the Middle East and all that. They just have some other kind of commercial, selling a phone, an iPhone, or electronics or something like that. But you barely see those kind of commercials on there. All right, why you want to sell health medicine to people who are not obese and don't have all these diseases that they have in the U.S.? If you look at commercials from the U.S. and you compare them to commercials overseas, you say the U.S. is completely sick. Everybody there seems to have some kind of major health issue because they're running all these commercials all the time. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. For the pharmaceutical industry to keep you sick, it's what's making them profit. All right, and if they knew a way to cure you, they're not going to give it to you. They're only going to give you something that kind of cures you, but it doesn't cure you all the way. It's the way it is. The health industry in the U.S. is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they want to keep it that way. If you had the magic pill that cures all diseases, that person will probably disappear one night. Who came up with it? All right. So that's overseas. A lot of people like to make fresh food. They'll buy their meat and they'll buy their vegetables and they'll put lemon instead of putting some kind of a salad dressing on it, some thick salad dressing on it. They'll put some lemon and salt and a little bit of pepper, whatever the deal is, and that's what they eat. All right. Not even oils. I don't see a lot of oil being used in salad dressing and in the salads they make in the Middle East. I see a lot of like lemon and maybe some salt and vinegar and this kind of stuff being put in those dressings and those salads. And the food that they cook, well, they do cook some food. You could say they'll be like on the oven, like they have stone ovens and they cook. Some of them have restaurants. I'm not talking about people in their homes. Some of them, and maybe in somebody's house, in some old house, maybe have one. But a lot of the times they'll cook stuff in ovens, and chickens will be like roasted chicken. Like they put them on those big spiky things, and they roast them on there, and all the oil comes out of them. All right. And they do a lot of stuff that kind of like try to bypass a lot of the oils that they cook with. They try to bypass. Well, I think one of the best things they have actually invented in the last couple of years has been that It's that it's like a small little oven. It's not an oven. It's a air. It's supposed to be like a air heating type of thing that you put your French fries in. It uses air to heat up your food or cook your food. You can cook an entire chicken in it or meat in it. All right. I don't know the exact technical name for that, but uh, air heat food, whatever it's called. And I seen those. We actually, my a long time ago, my wife was actually purchased one when they first started to come out, and it's been a big help. I actually lost some weight with that. Uh, and other people I know have those. I think a couple of my family members have those. And you put instead of cooking your French fries on, using grease or oil to cook your fry your French fries in some deep grease. Go and cook it one of these one of these air cookers, heater or oven, whatever they call it. And you'll notice a big difference. Yeah, the thing about it is, some of the settings may not be right. I think it's some of these ovens. Like if you cook it too much, if you have, it also depends on the size. The oven is not set for a lot of these air heating ovens are not set. I think they're not correctly set because French fries, you could have the thin French fry, the very thin French fry, and you can have the middle-sized French fry, and you can have the thick French fry. All right, and you can if you fry it at the temperature they're asking you or the time they're putting it in, you want to overcook the thin one. It's going to be like hard like a rock. All right, so you kind of have to play with it a little bit, test it a little bit into it. I always like the soft French fries, not the hard French fry burnt to a crisp French fries. All right, so those are big help when it comes to food. All right, staying away from any kind of fats will help your mental condition. All right, so if you're suffering from bipolar or any other mental disorder, stay away from these oils. Stay away from vegetable oil. It's one of I think one of the biggest reasons people have so much mental problems in the U.S. It's from all these oil and a lot of stuff. It's because of these fast food, they lead to these problems. All right, but here's the situation. I was talking about the dry, this air heating food device. It's probably one of the better investment for your health. If you're in a family of and you're using oil to fry French fries or cook your popcorns. I think some of these even do popcorn or meat. Use it. The other thing about that I notice about these small ovens that use air to heat up to cook food. It's not a microwave. It just uses extreme hot air to cook your food. It's like if you put a chicken to cook, it kind of dries it out. Okay, it kind of makes the meat kind of dry. All right, and it takes maybe if you're used to eating chicken, kind of juicy chicken, you're probably better off cooking it in something different. They will actually don't fry it or don't cook it on any kind of vegetable oil, but it will still cook the vegetable and it wouldn't be that dry as it will be in one of these kind of ovens. And meat, you could probably cook some meats in some of these ovens. And I actually tested it out with hot dogs, and I didn't like the way the hot dogs came out. They came out really dry. I just didn't like the way it came out. All right, so you have to play with it and find some stuff that you can cook, and you don't have to use the vegetable oil for those ovens. All right, but I think that's probably one of the better inventions that came out, and it's not been that long in the market. Those inventions of using this hot air to cook your food. So that's something you should look into if you want to have a healthier diet, a more healthy diet. You should look into that. All right. So that's another one. And you should look at the food that you buy. How much vegetable oil are in this? I will believe that's something like a saturated fat or whatever. How much of that stuff is in your food when you buy these foods? And you should really start looking about cutting back at least a good 80% of any kind of vegetable oil out of your diet. And if you can go all the way and cut 100% of vegetable oils out of your diet, then it's going to be a lot better for your health. And it also says it has memory problems. It actually causes memory problems and it could cause even Alzheimer's and this kind of stuff. Vegetable oil. There's a lot of research having to do with vegetable oil, and there's nothing positive. Of course, the positive vegetable oil research go and if you see anybody talking positive about vegetable oil, and there's been some kind of research done to say that it's something positive, go find out who financed that research. Where did the money come for that research? And you're probably going to find some pharmaceutical company tied to that. All right? Or some other company that makes a profit out of you being sick. So you should go research that. But normal research done by universities and people who are not not going to be making money or one way or the other on this, they have nothing good to say about vegetable oil. Vegetable oil is like cigarettes back in the 50s. There's actually commercials. I believe they go back into the 50s and in the 60s that had doctors saying that cigarettes were good for you. Doctors. All right. And those are probably paid actors acting as doctors. All right. But they were actually peddling cigarettes as this is okay to do. This is good for you. All right. It's one of the most harmful things to do to smoke. To do is to smoke cigarettes. It's been proven all over the place that thing is horrible for you. It's horrible for your system. And we're at that point we're not still at the point where the general public understands anything about vegetable oil. There is a move of people who are trying to open people's eyes when it comes to vegetable oil. You know, I'm touching this a lot here today because it sickens me to watch a young girl suffering from this bipolar problem, possibly due to that her parents or you say mother maybe ate in fast food restaurants or ate or fried their food with vegetable oil, and that vegetable oil could have been the culprit behind this disorder that this young girl has. So that's why I am pushing this thing to him. And not only that, because I have also been a victim of vegetable oil. I get these horrible migraines with vegetable oil. All right, and I really have a hard time trying to find any place that I can go eat like a fast food restaurant because they could have cooked their food in vegetable oil, and 90% do. I'm getting to the point where I cannot eat any kind of fast food anywhere. That's not going to trigger a horrible migraine. And I know it's the food because as soon as I don't eat that food no more and I go back to eating home food I made home with no vegetable oil, migraines disappear. There's no migraine. And I've actually ate in a restaurant, some restaurants, or actually when I was overseas I ate a couple times in restaurants they were selling some food that was it was okay. I was not giving me migraines. And then later on, I ate the same food and huge migraine. And that's because they changed the oil. There are some oils that may be made as vegetable oil that will not affect you. You won't get these migraines. You can get some horrible ones, some light ones, or maybe not even get it because it all depends on the maker of that oil, on how they made it. All right. The stuff is a toxin to your body. That's what it is. All right. So sometimes you might go to a restaurant and you'll eat there many times, or a fast food restaurant or some kind of restaurant you go to and you're not getting any kind of effect really from it. Maybe you're getting heart problems with it, but you don't notice. All right. But like me, I will also get maybe a migraine from eating some kind of food that I was normally eating, and this a lot of times is because they changed the company they were buying the oil from, or they went to another method of making that oil something. All right. There's even candies that I can't eat. There's certain chocolates I cannot eat that made with vegetable oil. I cannot eat. Because I'll be looking at like somebody hit me over the head with a hammer. All right. And like I said, these kids who are suffering from these bipolar and other diseases that they're suffering from, A lot of them don't know it. Why? They don't know why. They think it's something to do with there's something that runs in their family, or maybe they when they were born, and they don't realize it's probably because their parents were eating food that was cooked. Their mothers, especially, the mother was eating a lot of food that was cooked in vegetable oil when they were pregnant, and possibly they have kept eating vegetable in fast food restaurants once in a while. They had vegetable oil, and they should start to look at it themselves and look at the way their health issue is when they eat a lot of fast food, and their health issue is when they don't eat a lot of fast food and they don't eat vegetable oil. And compare both of those times. Maybe keep some kind of a journal or a diary. You know, today I went to this fast food restaurant and I ate this, this, and this. And later on, my head feels like it's going to explode. Or if I had some kind of bipolar, I had more bipolar episodes, or other issues, mental health. And then compare that to the time that they were eating at home with no vegetable oil and how that was reacting with their bodies or their mental condition. All right, and maybe say, I'm going to eat at home. I only cook food at home without the vegetable oil, and I'm going to see if I lose weight. And I'm going to compare that to the time that I was eating at fast food restaurant to see if I was gaining weight, and do the comparison. I think most of the time you're going to find out that if you ate at home without vegetable oil, and not only that you need to stop making food with vegetable oil, you have to stay away from stuff that contains vegetable oil, such as chips, all right, who are loaded with vegetable oil, all right, and certain type of food are loaded with vegetable oil. You should read the ingredients and the things to see if they have that vegetable oil in there, all right, which I believe will be under like saturated fat and this kind of stuff, and stay away from that. And then go on a diet that doesn't have any of these vegetable oils. And if you're not sure if a product has vegetable oil, if it has or doesn't have vegetable oil, you should go and look it up on the internet, that product, and see what it says about the oil contents in that product. And then do a diet based on non-vegetable oil in your diet. Just remove as much vegetable oil as you can out of your diet. And then compare that to the time that you used to eat at fast food restaurants, and eat a lot of this vegetable chips and all this kind of stuff, and see how it is. You're probably going to see that you're a lot healthier when you don't eat none of that stuff. When you don't eat the vegetable oil. Preservatives and vegetable oils are a huge problem for anybody that consumes them, because there's a lot of chemical preservatives they go into packaged foods. And a lot of times you may have to stay away from packaged food, canned foods. The only time you should be eating canned food if you went through a hurricane and you bought a bunch of canned food because you don't want it to go spoil. Okay, you may have to eat it. Fine. But you shouldn't just be going out there buying any kind of canned food for any dumb reason. You want to make a soup? Go make a nice chicken soup at your house yourself. Put some carrots, slice them up, some onions in there, and put your chicken and put some salt, and some other stuff in there, and you make a chicken soup. But you don't need to go buy canned chicken soup. That stuff is loaded with a whole bunch of preservatives. All right, why are you buying all that stuff? You can make a nice pot of soup that can last you a couple of days. Yeah, if you have like an emergent, like if you have like a hurricane bailing, coming, heading in your direction, yeah, you probably would like to have some canned foods, because you can't cook food; it goes bad after a while. That stuff can last almost forever. Why? Because of the chemicals they put in it. So that's the way you gotta look at it. If you can make bread in your house without buying it from the store, and you're probably better off making your own bread, it's probably more healthier. Canned chicken soup and not only chicken soup, there's a whole mess of recipes out there for soups. Go on the internet, spend some time on some of these YouTube videos, and they show you how to make healthy soups. All right, watch out for the ingredients. Sometimes people they call it a healthy soup, but you can see the ingredients they might have put in it. There's certain kind of powders or stuff they put in. It might have been not such a great idea. So but a lot of them will make some good soups out of meat. They can make good soups out of chickens and all kind of stuff that you can make yourself without running into all this canned food and preservatives. And nuggets, that's another one. Those chicken nuggets that you might buy in the store, you're gonna maybe end up frying those in some kind of vegetable oil. And the nugget itself, a lot of those nuggets, who knows what the hell is in that? And some hot dogs out there are horrible. What the heck they put in there? You know. So all that people young, especially if you're young. If you're somebody like you just moved out of your parents' house and you're living by yourself, you are like a bit of a tight budget, and you're used to already eating junk food. You buy a bunch of junk food, your refrigerator is full of junk food, and your cabinet's full of junk food, and this is what you're living off. But as you get older, your body starts getting sluggish. You notice different things going on, and you start getting health issues. Maybe you would have never gotten that health issue if you would have not eaten a lot of this garbage. All right. So that's what we have to look at. I've been out here now for almost 2 hours. We did race up a little bit of money here. We got up to $22, which is yippee. We got a bucks here. We got some money, which I thank the person that donated that money. All right. So we're up a little bit of money. I want to keep this going, but I hope that YouTube here can look at this channel and say, this guy needs a break. Let's try to promote his channel a little higher to help this individual with fundraising. And YouTube will move this channel in front of people, put it in front of people, that more people can see it and come here to this channel. And hopefully we can get some followers here on this channel. 10 followers. The last time I looked, I had 10 followers on here. It's a very brand new. It's a very new channel, and we can promote this to help out this this family with this bipolar daughter. All right, we're doing something good. We're not doing something bad. We're doing something good. We're trying to raise some money for a just cause, you could say. And trying to get, and on top of that, I'm trying to give you some information on what leads to some of the mental diseases, such as bipolar. All right, and there are a lot of other mental diseases out there that affect young people and kids born with these mental diseases. If you actually go read books on children born with mental diseases, it wasn't a common thing happening a long time ago, hundreds of years ago. That stuff didn't happen. There was people that were like born retarded and or people that or had some kind of mental thing, but that was probably more to other factors than just the food. There was probably more stuff that had to do with the genetics and different things. Or a person that maybe was when they were pregnant, didn't deliver the kid in time, the lack of oxygen to the brain and this kind of stuff. But when you see an explosion of mental problems when a certain product is introduced into the market, then you have to see the correlation between it. You have to see there's something here. There just cannot be an explosive overnight that the people in the West, especially children, start getting these mental problems from one minute to the other. And adults, older persons, start having all these heart attacks, falling all over the place. And other people with high blood pressure and diabetes and all this just blew up from one minute to the other. And you got to look at what was being introduced as food to the markets, and how long did it take this to start to affect people? You start seeing these numbers increasing in the health of the public, and they also compare those numbers to countries that didn't have vegetable oil. for the same period of time, and what was their health issues. And that's a lot of research into that, and they can show you just looking at the numbers. You say this has to have been one of the biggest culprit is vegetable oils, cigarette smoking, the ingredients they're putting in, all these preservatives they're putting in food. All right, we're being slowly poisoned. Is what we're being. All right, and you notice that a lot of people in mountain areas that don't eat none of this stuff, or don't shop for this kind of stuff, and other places that have clean air, clean water. All right, man, you live, these things, they're out there, they're living to 100 years old, and many of them don't. They die basically of old age. They don't die. Well, this one night they just don't wake up. That's it. You know. That's what you gotta look at. Yeah, so there's environments also nowadays, with pollution and all type of stuff in the environments could cause health problems. I'm not just saying like if you want to eat up, everybody there is healthy. No, there's issues there because if you're somewhere like in Cairo, there's a lot of cars in that city, and that's a city of, I believe, it's like 19 million in one city. It's a city that's extremely crowded. All right, and there's a lot of open sewers in some places. In some places, the pollution from cars is huge, and so on and so on and so on. All right, so those do give you health problems, but the people appearance is different. You don't see all these bloated people walking around like you see in the U.S. That's a lot different. Also, a lot of these people, like in the Arabic countries, don't drink beer. And beer can get you bloated and looking like you're, look. I mean, they can make a man look like he's 9 months pregnant, like he's about to have a kid. So that's another one there. It's some of the stuff that we think. A lot of those Arabics, Muslims do not. They're not supposed to indulge in alcohol. So there's almost no beer drinking or anything like that. They give you these giant, bellies, and that's another issue there. All right. So that's different things. There's because of the culture, because of the location, because of the way they prepare their food. There's different things. Now, there are, I'm not going to say that these people all have these clean health bills. You say, they don't have no health issue. They do. There are countries in the Middle East that consume too much sweets, and they have a problem with that. All right, they love sweets. Anything with sweets, they love, and that creates a problem for them. All right, so there's a lot of people with diabetics. They're suffering diabetes and other stuff that they suffer. All right, but that's what we got to look at. We got to look at in the U.S. To me, one of the biggest problem in the U.S. is the oil that we consume in our food, and also all those preservatives that we're putting in our foods. All right. That a lot of stuff, the government has pretty much dropped the ball when it comes to this. And also there's been a lot of these lobbyists who want to continue the party going when it comes to vegetable oil. The good thing about it is some people are beginning to recognize it and beginning to wake up to it. And there's a movement that I hope that picks up some speed to hopefully get the right government officials start removing vegetable oil out of our diets. Permanent. We're just no longer. Hopefully, I would love to see a day in the future sometime where they completely outlaw vegetable oil, where it's no longer allowed to be consumed. And I think the country overall will be in more healthier condition. And you may be able to enjoy going to a fast food restaurant and not gaining the weight that you're now gaining, and eat some of the foods there, because they will have to go back to using animal fat. All right, if they want to stay in business, or find other ways to cook their food. They can be tasty and enjoyable, but less problems for the person in general, for their health. And you may see a day where people that suffer from bipolar and other mental diseases uh, will be less and less, and kids will have less and less problems with that. And also, it says that even IQs are affected by some of these poisons being put into our food. That IQs are going down. Okay, so we're making idiots. The country is turning into a pile of fat idiots. Is what it's turning into. I don't want to be insulting, but that's what the research shows. All right. So that's another one. Fry. You mean air fried? Air fried. Yeah, that's what it's called. Air fry. See, Night Overlord here, who's on the chat room, told me that the name of that thing that I was trying to figure out what is the name of this little oven that blows hot air to your food and cooks it. It's called an air fryer. Is what it is. All right. That's what people should get. They should get these air fryers, and I think it could really improve their food. If you're somebody who's like in your 40s, you should really start cooking all your food without no oils and try to get in front of this thing. But really, you should just never cook on it no matter what age you're in. Any kind of these oils. Stay away from them. And if you didn't go and bought your olive oil directly from the farm where they make the olive oil and you've seen it being produced, it's probably not going to be olive oil. It's going to be another. It is not to say that olive oil is not going to give you these effects, because it is a form of vegetable oil, is what it is. All right, the canola oil is the one that it seems to be very affected against in a bad way against people. And there's farms growing this huge mountain of canolas all over the place. The farmers, sell in the market, and sunflower and other, I'm sure other type of vegetable oils. All right, but this is a problem. There's people should stay out. Use the air fryer, which I think like I said, is one of the better ideas. There's been an air fryer. Microwaves. There's been issues with food being cooked in microwaves. All right. That people said you shouldn't even cook this food in microwaves, so and so it could have this kind of problem. Yeah, because you're using microwaves. It may actually alter some of this food. Air dryer is just blowing hot air, putting a blow dryer on something until it cooks it. But of course, at a lot higher temperature. So that's pretty good. Ovens that you can, small little ovens that you can cook a chicken or a steak in, and let the grease a lot of the oils come out of it. This is also good. All right. There is a lot of ways to cook food without oil. You don't need oil. I don't even, to tell you the truth, I don't even think right now I have oil in my house. I don't believe I have any kind of oil. Because I don't use, I and my family, my wife and everybody lives in this house, we don't use oil to cook. Since I've researched a lot of this stuff, and it's been quite a while since I've done this research into vegetable oils, I pretty much have eliminated from my house food almost 99% of all oils. There's nothing, almost nothing contains oil. And any kind of vegetable oil. Got rid of it. And I feel a lot better. Everybody in the house seems to be doing better health-wise, and I also lost some weight. And also when we went over to the air fryer, that's another one that helped lose weight. That I don't cook a lot. I have almost no food on any kind of oil. If it needs to be cooked like fries, and fries is a problem because fries is still. Some of these fries are pre-fried. They're pre-cooked. Some fries, where they heat them up and kind of semi-cook them in oil. And there's nuggets and stuff. The kids love this stuff. And I try to avoid some of this stuff here. But there are stuff like chocolates and stuff like that that do contain these oils that you have to like be aware of. But you can cook a lot of your food without having to process or cook it through any kind of oils. Stay away from oil. Some people will tell you, some doctors will tell you, stay away from any oil, any kind of oil, whether it be animal oil or fats or or vegetable fat. But oil has something called, I think it's HT something. I forgot the name of it. There's supposed to be a benefit to your brain. So it's like we cannot eliminate all oils from our diet. There are some benefits to certain kind of oils, but not the oil, not the what's involved with vegetable oil. That has a negative in your diet. All right. So I've been out here 2 hours. We did manage to raise a little bit of money here, a little bit. We didn't get up to the $250,000, but but we raised up something, which is good. And I'm glad for that person. May God bless that person that gave that donation to help out on this. We're at the 2 hour mark right now, 2 hours and 9 minutes since I broadcast out here. And the biggest problem that we have in broadcasting is one of the number one problem is there's no views. Nobody's viewing this channel. All right. If it's normally supposed to be showing as a live feed on YouTube, it should have been up there, but it's probably not even there because it's a new channel. So I hope somehow it gets out there and people get to view. But I'm gonna cut off the talk for today, and later on I'm gonna continue on with the fundraising. I'll come back and try to do more fundraising in another video, and see if we can continue to raise more funds here, and hopefully more people will come listen to the show. I'll see if I continue to talk stuff about mental health problems, people with bipolar, and other things that could interest people, and hopefully get them to go and do some donations, which will be very nice. So anyway, you people have a great one, and God bless you, and thank you, Night Overlord, for coming out here and chatting with me. And maybe later on today, in quite a few hours from now, I'll do another live broadcast out here, and we'll see if we can continue. Now that the hurricane's pretty much did its deed, you could say. What I'll be doing, probably more concentrating on this, raising of these funds and talking about the health issues there are with oils and other kind of foods, and that would be mostly the topic probably for this upcoming week. Is what we're going to be looking at. All right, talking about that. So anyway, you guys have a great one out there. For those who come and see this video, thank you. And I hope if somebody sees this video and when it's already been uploaded to YouTube, because this right now is a live feed, that you will also consider going and doing some donations on there. So thank you again, Night Overlord, and you have a great day or great night where you're at. And thank everybody else. And let's keep going here and continue to pray for the family that hopefully they'll get enough finances to pay their rent and food, and hopefully get the education that their daughter needs for the bipolar problem. All right, so God bless you all, and we will see you back on the other, hopefully in several hours from now with another program here. Okay, so I will see you now.